All right, we are back with our BBB podcast with WUFO.
Yeah.
Very excited to be here.
Absolutely.
After, the holiday craziness. But over that period of time, we found there are lots of things for us to talk about.
There is a lot, yes.
In fact, we ran out of time on our first segment that we did today. Because there were so many different things that we needed to address in regards to the top reported scams in 2025.
Right.
And one of them being advance fee loans.
Right.
So we just wrapped up talking about that. This is something that we have seen reported to us very frequently lately, as Lori has mentioned. But one thing we didn't have time to get into in our last podcast, and it's something that people are always asking.
Yes, they are.
How can I stop these spam phone calls?
And it is aggravating, and I wish we could stop it when they're still going to continue to come in, because what a scammer is obviously going to do, scammers ignore laws, right? And they're going to ignore laws. Legitimate, obviously, companies and businesses, obviously, if you take your number off.
Scammers don't care. They just want to get some money out of you and move on to the next victim.
Absolutely. If your number is on that do not call registry, okay, that's great, and you should keep your number on that. But the FTC, obviously, and that I have this my notes here, that confirms that the registry only stops legitimate telemarketers, okay, not the criminals.
Which is fine. You can still register for that, but it doesn't mean you are going to.
Right.
And I see this. I see people give this advice a lot, and it's a little frustrating, because I don't want people to have a false sense of security by saying, well, I'm on the do not call list, so maybe this is legitimate. No, it's not.
Right. And then they're frustrated because they took the time to put their number on there, and then they're still getting spam calls, and it's from obviously fake numbers and spoofs of the other stuff, but and as we know, criminals are going to bypass, and they don't care. They're going to annoy you and annoy you and annoy you. But you've got to start now again, and we keep telling, obviously the public, is that you're going to have to obviously take it the next step. Okay, whereas, blocking calls, and maybe you have to go into your phone settings, right? I don't know. Do you do that at all? Like go into your phone settings and try to,
and now I know with the iPhone, it's pretty easy. You can hit block call. Once after you receive one, it's pretty easy to access.
Yes,
but I would recommend just block it. I know you're probably going to get other calls, but just stay on top of it and block the numbers.
Yeah, use the call blocking and call labeling tools, and that seems to be the most effective thing that you can do. Go, if you're on iPhone, you go to your iPhone settings. And there, there's a part where there's silence unknown callers.
Right.
You could do that.
Or, my phone will say scam likely.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, maybe I'm getting a call from a friend. Oh, no, it's just scam likely.
Right. That's exactly right. So iPhone has settings that you can go into, like Android has.
I think the scammers are trying to get a hold of me more than anybody else these days.
Right. And so that can also help you screen some of your calls going into that, these filters and stuff like that you could use. But, I wish we could give them the public out there, the great answer of that are going to stop, But, I think that, like anything else, they're going to continue to scam any way they can.
But this is one, the advance fee loan, you want to keep an eye out for these days.
Yeah.
Again, let us know if you are receiving these nonstop phone calls. I know I have been. I know a lot of people I talk to are. It's very frustrating. But let us know. Because that way we can continue to keep people informed. And, we have to keep Lori busy over here on our scam tracker.
But no, go to your, your mobile service. They have scam protection. Okay, and they can help you out if it's something like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know. But enable your carrier's free spam protection. Okay, and look into that, and that could also help.
Yes.
Maybe, get minimal calls.
Right. Well, very good tips.
Yeah,
Lori,
I don't know.
We'll
see.
And lastly, just as a recap, we were talking about the top 5 scams in 2025 in our last podcast. The last one I wanted to touch on, which kind of goes hand in hand with the online purchase scams we talked about a little bit earlier, but counterfeit products. Reports of those doubled from 2024 to 2025, like everything else.
Right.
These scammers are keeping Lori busy.
They are. They are.
But yeah, I hear about this all the time, and it's happened to me before years ago. You know, I thought I was ordering this awesome Bills jersey, and it was not cheap. And when it came in the mail, like a month and a half later, it looked like something you'd put on a dog or a cat.
The quality that comes,
so
right?
Tiny.
Yes,
the stitching was
right,
all off. So,
right.
I mean, lesson learned there. But, you know, scammers stay on top of those hot items, things people want.
For sure. They are.
Shoes, designer items. That's one we hear about quite a bit. People want these designer handbags.
Jewelry, like those types of things. Like, you know, they want the label and stuff like that. So that also comes in a lot about jewelry.
Yeah. So I like to remind people, you know, try to shop with retailers you know and trust.
Absolutely.
You know, if you're seeing these designer handbags being sold at these low prices, I mean, for some reason it's always like 65% off. That I see.
It's
like
always 65 or 70. I see 70 all the time.
Yes. If you see that on a website that's impersonating a designer or one that you've never heard of, then you know you're probably dealing with a scam. So,
and don't forget, and I've said this a lot on obviously this podcast, but I want to just make sure I get it out again. When you're seeing that 70% off, like those websites that look a little bit sketchy, don't forget, go to the bottom. Are they giving you an address for the business? Are they giving you the phone number? Is there an email? And a lot of the times, it's not there. So let that be a lesson, and please look and see if you're seeing that.
And speaking of counterfeit products, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. You're on theme today. Yeah. I didn't get the memo. I didn't wear my.
Well, I had to get my warm, Western New York sweater on here.
But yeah, it is coming up right around the corner here. Oh yeah, we're almost in February. Hard to believe.
It's coming.
Yes,
I have my Valentine obviously on my door. My door. I have my, my Valentine decoration up. Yeah, so I'm ready.
Yeah. I am not, hopefully my husband's not listening, but I'm one of those last minute shoppers I'm going to talk about.
Yes.
But we see a lot of these counterfeit products around Valentine's Day.
That's right. And like you just mentioned, last minute. And that's how Mr. Asher, and I think Mr. Asher would do the same thing, do something at the last minute thinking he's going to get it. My beautiful flower sent to me last minute, like the day before.
Mr. Asher, if you're listening.
He's listening. He needs to know.
Get on top of it.
And that's what we need to talk about, I think, Kat, with obviously Valentine's and people ordering flowers at the last minute.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I have heard of this scam where, some of these last minute gentlemen or women,
right?
Myself, have tried to order flowers, and these scammers say, literally the day before,
oh yeah,
we promise they'll get to you within 24 hours, and guess what? Those flowers never show up.
They won't. So
you really need to be on the lookout for these types of scams.
Yeah, and think about it. And there's going to be a lot that come up these websites that'll say flower, and they're going to, look like, oh, we can
fast delivery.
Yeah, fast delivery, fast. Just pay a little bit extra. But and people are going to do it because they're doing it
because
at the
they're
last
desperate, and that's how scammers take advantage of people. Like people who do their last minute holiday shopping.
Right.
For Christmas. You need that perfect gift. They know that. They know people are out there looking for that, and that's how they target their victims.
And they are. So you'll go to the website and let's say, what day do you want to schedule it? And there's like a little calendar there, and then you try to click on the calendar. And they'll say, oh, I need it sent on February 14th at, 9 a.m. And it'll just keep clicking and it won't go through, but they already got your card. And be careful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be careful.
Like I mentioned earlier, when you're shopping online, credit card offers the greatest form of protection. Sure. But in this case, if you're looking for flowers, I know there are many local flower shops.
Absolutely.
Go pay one a visit in person. Do some research. You can check companies out on BBB.org before you buy, but I would advise that everybody stay away from some of these last minute
these fly-by-night websites that are going to do
offers. Yes. So, if you're shopping for Valentine's Day, here's your reminder, Mr. Asher included.
My hubby needs to get on that.
Yeah, the clock is ticking. So get on it.
Yes. Right.
So one other thing that I think is pretty timely is tax season.
Here it comes.
I know. It's coming up. Like I said, hard to believe we're already in February, but this time of year, it is not uncommon to hear about government impersonation scams, phone calls, people impersonating the IRS. Can you talk about this a little bit?
The IRS is not going to call, text, give you a message. They're not going to DM you, or emailing demanding payment. Okay, right then and there. And that's the first thing right now I think everyone can take away today is this government agency is not going to do that by any means. Okay, ignore those urgent demands. Okay,
right. What do some of these sound like? Like some of the calls you might
receive? I mean, you need to pay on this, or there's something from back taxes too. They'll try to get something from your history, and you probably don't have your paperwork from back then. I mean, and that's what I mean. They're just trying to scare you, and they want this urgency. I don't know, and give us more information about yourself.
Right.
They're trying to get your information too,
and they want you to panic.
Yes, your refund is waiting. Your refund is waiting. That looks good to me. Let's get in there. Pay now or you'll be arrested.
Yes, and you talk to people who hear those messages and they're scared, understandably.
Yeah, and they want your information. Give me your Social Security. They want that, and they're not going to ask all that. And that's what you have to be smart about. Those types of things. There's fake logos with using government logos, and it looks like it's a real logo, and it's not. Right. It's not legitimate sites. And one thing which I think is a great thought to put out there is if you file early, you've already done your filing, and now they can't come after you. Do you know what I mean? You're done. So
right.
They're not going to say, start filing. No, I've already done my taxes. I'm done. So getting things done earlier than later might also help you from not being
right.
scammed.
I think, there's a little bit of a general theme here today. And
right.
It's don't procrastinate.
Exactly.
And I know I've been guilty of it.
And you do, and you're waiting
Life
on
gets
this.
Crazy.
Yeah, you're waiting on this, and there's stuff that you probably got to add into, all your tax, forms and stuff which is, obviously, yeah, that's all of us. We have a lot to do. But that, first off, could also help you not get scammed again because you've already done them.
You know that it's done.
It's done.
So then you don't need to stress out when you get those phone calls.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. The earlier the better. I always tell people if you're looking for a tax preparer, you can head to bbb.org.
Right.
Check out different companies.
That's a great thing to say, yes.
Do your research.
And make sure that preparer, they have their identification number, their tax identification number. This is a legitimate person that you're going to do your taxes. Word of mouth too. Someone, yes, can you help me out? Who do you go to? And stuff like that. And just make sure they're legitimate people,
Right. There are a lot out there who are, working hard this time of year, but so are the scammers.
Right.
And so are the people that want to rip you off and scare you into, sending over that Social Security number.
Right. And promising huge refunds. So we can get you this big refund. Your vacation's waiting for you, And
right, which sounds amazing right now, honestly.
Yeah.
It does.
With all
the cold
right?
weather we're having.
Oh, gosh, for sure.
Everybody wants to, get away. Tax refunds. That's one way to spend it. Another way that people spend their tax refund, and one thing I've looked into is home improvement projects. Yeah. And I think that's important to talk about too.
Spring will be coming, and
two things: spring is coming. People are considering, what projects they might want to do around the house.
Sure.
And second, we have had some crazy weather lately.
Yes.
And
yes, we have
in Buffalo. This feels like a true Buffalo winter.
It is, and that's, of course, and I think I'm going to anticipate what you're talking about, but these,
Right.
The plow services right now, and, I think they're overloaded.
Yes.
And then, of course, you have a contract, and, the business said they're going to do this, they're going to do that,
Right.
and it's very overwhelming to, the consumer and obviously the businesses.
Right. You want to watch out for these types of scams, especially when we have severe weather. There are some of these fly-by-night contractors or storm chasers even who kind of show up out of nowhere after a severe weather event, which we know we're quite familiar with here in Buffalo. So you really want to stay alert and be on the lookout for these types of scams. I mean, I'm in my neighborhood Facebook groups, and I'm constantly seeing posts. I need someone to plow my driveway, and I get it.
People are desperate, yeah.
Yeah, but you want to make sure that you're hiring somebody you can trust. Who do your neighbors use?
Right.
Is there kind of a trusted company that takes care of things in your neighborhood, where you can get references from other people, or check into them.
No, sure. And I liked how you said, is there someone else in my neighborhood using the same? And my mother and the people across the street are using the same guy. And I think that's great because...
Well, you can take comfort in knowing that, this person has been reliable. They've shown up for my neighbors. It's not somebody who's going to rip you off.
Right, and they're both there. You know what I mean? You're both getting the same service, and they're going to come out for them. Obviously, they're going to come out for you, too.
Right,
and it's
right.
And that's a good point to make,
But you have to watch out for these people who, and not just necessarily with snow plowing, but other odd jobs who might show up at the door and say, "Hey, I need some money to." And I'm not talking about the young kids who are just trying to make some extra money shoveling, but I'm talking about some of these fly-by-night contractors who are going to promise a service and ask for a check, and then they just disappear.
Right. And that's what I mean. And you're going to see that a lot on Facebook. Do you know what I mean? Anyone needs, to get pulled out anywhere, your driveway need done, let me know. And, you got to check this person out. Really, they're coming to your house. And, of course, you might I don't have a service, but I can't get out. But, it's tempting for you to use this guy that's on Facebook. But
absolutely.
But maybe it's a 50-50,
Yeah. And take time to research that company. Again, and I keep saying this, but BBB is a great resource. We have so much information on thousands of different businesses, regardless of whether or not they're accredited with us.
And I love it. I go there too, and I like to read the complaints and the reviews, just looking up, some places, and it's right there, and it provides. There's little tabs that'll say the reviews for this company, the complaints for this company. You click on it, and you can see what people are saying. I think it's interesting.
Oh, it's great. You can see what complaints somebody might have with a particular business, what their rating is with the Better Business Bureau, how they've handled any complaints that may have come up.
Are they ignoring them?
Yes, that's one thing that we take seriously at BBB is, we know issues might arise, and we know businesses deal with this, but there's a lot that can be said in how you handle it. And one of those things that we look for is, are you responsive?
Yeah.
Or do you just blow off the complaints that consumers are leaving?
There was a complaint that came in for one plow business. They were to do their driveway, but they also, in the contract, said the sidewalk and then the sidewalk up to the porch. And the snowplower didn't do the sidewalk and stuff, and reached out to the BBB, and we reached out to the company. We're going to take care of that. And of course, the next day they came out and took care of the sidewalk. We contracted that. We apologized, and they apologized, and we helped that person out. And that was in their contract, for him to do the sidewalks. They ignored it, probably because they're so busy. But
I'm sure they're going from A to B and in a rush.
And it's they respected what obviously we had asked them, and of course what the consumer asked, and they got right on it. Problem solved.
And you said contract, and I want to kind of emphasize that point. whether you're hiring somebody to, snowplow for you or do some landscaping come spring if it ever arrives, you want to get a contract.
Yeah.
And you want to know exactly what's in it. Because let's say somebody had a contract and was told through word of mouth, verbally, okay, we'll take care of the sidewalks, but it's not written in there.
Yeah.
Then there's nothing you can really do about that.
No, absolutely. And contracts are everything. And some of them, and that's what is concerning. If you're going to get the person off of Facebook or off of, some social media post, I keep criticizing Facebook. I guess I shouldn't do that. But,
no.
but a lot of people are on there. But
people use social media now.
Do. And that's what I'm saying. Like, so this guy that you're looking, his posting that he can help you out, plow you out. But, is this guy going to have a contract? He hits your garage with it and, paint comes off or chips something, your deck or something.
Right.
And now you're in trouble.
Like,
right? And you're mad.
Are they licensed too?
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about like some of the things that we look into
right.
at the BBB?
And that's exactly what we do
when we're vetting companies.
Mm-hmm.
So just to kind of give everybody a recap, a company will apply for BBB accreditation, and a business is accredited if you see that little BBB seal. I apologize, I don't have anything with a BBB seal on it with
right?
me. I usually do.
I know.
But that shows that
that torch.
Yes, the torch. That shows that a company is accredited and has been vetted by the BBB. So can you talk a little bit about that process and
mm-hmm.
types of things we look into and some issues you might find as an investigator?
Yeah. And it goes through it. We have a great vetting team out there, and they will look top to bottom about the owner and about the business, how long they've been in business. Are they registered with New York State, right? Do they have the proper licensing? Some cities throughout New York State require licensing. Some parts of, the city of Buffalo might need a license for this or for that, but maybe Tonawanda doesn't. And so we do those types of things to check it out, that this business is following the rules. Is the owner legit? Okay, who's coming into my home, right? And people want to know that. What's, the past? Did they own several businesses beforehand? And we look into all that. We're making sure that if you're going to hold the BBB seal to your business, we want to make sure you're on the up and up, and we're there for the business as well, but also, the consumer. We want to make sure the consumer's getting the right information about the business that they hired.
Right. And I like to tell people, well, we've already done a lot of the research for you and a lot of that homework.
Yeah, we do.
And that's why, these companies are able to proudly display
right.
The BBB seal. I know, we've got like the home shows coming up, and
sure.
it's so great to see so many of these companies
yeah.
and contractors proudly showing that BBB seal. But that's
yeah.
something as a consumer that you want to look for.
Yeah, like if someone's coming in, you hired to paint inside your house. This guy's woman or whoever is going to come into your house, right? Coming in to paint your walls, is this a good person that I want in my home? I have children or whatever. I have stuff in my home. And you want the right person there.
Right.
Okay.
And so often we hear people say, oh, I wish I would have checked with you first.
Yes, and that's it. That's what we hear all the time.
And that's why, it's so easy to go to our website or give us a call and ask what you need to about any companies.
Right.
We don't have every business in the area, but we have a lot of them. And like I said, regardless of whether or not they're accredited, we keep business profiles. And when you click on that business profile, there's a lot you can see.
There is.
You can see what reviews people have left.
Right.
And one thing I like to mention is that BBB verifies reviews.
Mm-hmm.
We verify they're legitimate.
Right.
You go on some other platforms and you see reviews that are very obviously fake,
right.
or posted the same multiple times.
Yep.
So
language. Yep.
Yep. We take the time to verify those reviews, and then, like I said, you can see what complaints that people may have left about a particular right. company.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of sticking with that topic, I know we're dealing with snow right now. It's important to make sure that if you're still looking for a plow contractor, you're finding somebody you can trust. But, if you are looking at hiring anybody for those home improvement projects this spring, go to BBB, check with us first, and get multiple quotes.
Yeah, and we can help with your homework. Like, let us help you. You know,
that's what we're here for. This is what we do.
No, for sure. And I think you should take advantage of it. You really should. It's easy. You know what I mean? It's easy to do.
And go and shop around a little bit. Check out multiple different companies.
Yeah.
Read up on them.
Right.
Get multiple quotes. You know, sometimes the lowest price isn't always going to be the best deal.
Right.
And you want to. I like to ask for references or to see photos of other work that a company has done before hiring them. And many, you know, legitimate, trustworthy contractors would be more than happy to provide you with that. So, you know, I know time is flying today, isn't it?
It is. It's really went real fast.
I know. So we are wrapping up. You know, soon we'll be planning what we'll be talking about next month.
I can't wait because it's going to get closer to the warmer weather.
I know. Please.
Warmer weather problems, right?
I know, and I have no vacations planned, and it's making me very, very sad at the moment. I know. I just want some sunshine. But anyway, thank you for listening. And again, if you ever have any questions, reach out and head to bbb.org.